Once upon a time, I had one horse, Diesel. He was fantastic and we did everything together. Then he died. I knew I wanted to start my next horse myself, so I bought a 2-year-old, Savvy. The plan was to start her very slowly over the next few years and eventually get back to what I did with Diesel. Games, jumping, trail riding, all that. About a month later, I met Nick. He was just my type, a Bay Arab with a need for speed. I decided I would start him on games, then sell him once Savvy was grown up and broke. That lasted about 5 minutes. Nick is Diesel 2.0, and he's staying with me forever. I decided that 2 was the normal number of horses to have, and now we're going to skip ahead about 3 years. During those 3 years, I bought and sold 4 horses, proving I do not keep every horse that crosses my path. I also got married, and we bought a house, and I did a lot of other stuff that didn't have to do with the horses. What I did not do during those 3 years was train Savvy to be a game horse. We worked on it a little, I acknowledged she had potential, but when it came time to add the speed, I kept making excuses. Eventually, I realized that just wasn't what I wanted from her. Savvy's the only horse tall enough for my inexperienced husband to ride, and I didn't want her to get too hot to do that job. Also, despite spending years saying Western pleasure is boring, I really enjoy showing Savvy in the performance classes, and pushing her on games could have an effect on that too. So we came up with a different solution. We would breed Savvy, and her foal would be the next game horse. More on that later. Around the same time, I decided I needed a project horse. There is no explanation for this. I can kind of justify having a foal, but I cannot justify a project. We were getting ready to move to our new house. Riding season was almost over for the year. I already had a project horse, Mouse the POA, but I didn't let facts or logic stop me, and I brought home Madge, an Arabian something mix, 4-year-old bay with no socks. Shouldn't surprise you that I got attached to Madge pretty quickly. Not really possible to earn a wild horse's loyalty without giving over some of your own, so I made adjustments to the plan. It was decided that Madge would train to replace Nicky as my main speed horse in case he needed to retire. So far he hasn't, and then I'd sell her once Savvy's future foal gets old enough to compete. You may notice that's almost exactly what I said about Nick when I got him, and now I'm going to keep him forever. Good observation. It's unlikely Madge will ever go anywhere, but on paper, the plan is still to sell her just in 2030. And last spring, that's 2024 if you're keeping track, Freedom got in for training. She was even wilder than Madge, but fortunately a lot smarter. I got a halter on her with much difficulty, and surprise, she was pregnant. On April 14th, Freedom had a beautiful soon-to-be gray colt, Valor. More on that later. Halter breaking Freedom happened slowly over about 6 months. She had a precocious child to raise and no reason to trust humans. Very slowly, I built a bond with her and taught her to lead. At the end of the season, Val went home and Freedom stayed. I just couldn't help myself. With the way she is, I didn't see how she could ever reach her full potential with anyone but me. She doesn't trust people, she just trusts me. There's no sell her at this time under these circumstances clause for Freedom. The plan is just for her to stay. I justify this by saying Freedom will be my English horse, something I have not ever expressed interest in. This is not entirely out of left field. Freedom famously jumped multiple fences before she came to me, so the potential's there. My ability to harness it is debatable, but I'm going to give her my very best, and if nothing else, a safe, loving home. This spring, that's 2025, we're almost caught up now, Savvy had her baby, a beautiful roan filly I named Cleo. Cleo has no responsibilities due to being a baby, but someday in the distant future, she'll learn games, trail riding, jumping, maybe even vaulting, who knows? The possibilities are endless. Despite all that, when I got the chance to own Freedom's foal from last year, I absolutely could not say no. There's no plan for Valor, much less any sort of justification, but I'll figure something out. If he gets tall enough, he could be the new husband horse, or I could always get into driving. His possibilities are endless too. And that's the reason I no longer have money or free time. I have something much better. 6 horses. A foal, a yearling with an abscess, a 5-year-old with an attitude problem, a jumping prospect that can't figure out trout poles, a dumb blonde, and Nicky.